Great questions. Anything else? Yes.
Like when you said you had like 1,200 applicants, how do you decide between 1,000 people, like what 100 you're going to interview? Is it?
Yeah.
I just, there's.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I've had a lot of sleepless nights on that one. Yes. The way we do it, we have 2 screening processes in our application. When you fill out our application, there's 7 questions that you'll answer. That's one screening. But then it'll also take you to another website. It'll just link you right off when you fill out the application to a 33-question screener. And in our interview, we look for 3 things. We look for, and those screeners are responses in 3 areas: purpose, human relationship skills, and understanding of teaching and learning. Those are the 3 things we look at in those questions, those 2 screeners. If you score in those top tiers, those 2 screeners, and you have the credentials and other stuff goes out, we're going to call you in for an interview. And we could have a candidate pool of 2. We can have a candidate pool of 32. But if you score in those, if you go through our screeners, that's how we do it. So we get an electronic score feedback from the online screener. And if that score is good, we're going to look at the 7 questions. You come to our job fair, and you'll look at those same 7 questions. You'll get asked in our screener or a variation of that. And if someone scores good in that area, and we encourage them to fill out the online application so they can do the other screener. So we use a screening system, and most school districts that are large do that because everybody gets asked the same question. Everybody is afforded the opportunity to respond to the same question. And so if we're ever challenged on that, the data's right there. And we've won a few times on that. And we've never lost. So it's very fair and non-discriminatory. And everybody gets afforded the same opportunity to respond to questions. Now we have the rubric, and we know what we're looking for based on the research in those areas, in those 3 areas: purpose, human relationship skills, understanding, teaching, and learning. But that's what we use. That's what most districts use, is that screening process. So that's why that initial application process is even more important now, is because districts are utilizing that because of the volume that we get. It's not a perfect system, I'll tell you that, but it's the best system we have right now. Great question. Any other questions? Folks, good luck to you in your interview process. And definitely stop by we'll be here. We'll have 4 tables here at Eastern here at Mattoon, and we'll have probably about 7 administrators over here doing the job fair. So jump in and do those. I would encourage you to do those 7 questions, the screeners that we have. And good luck to you, and be excited about what you're doing. The light's at the end of the tunnel. You're out there getting ready to jump into a career profession that I can tell you truly is. It truly is. My wife works for Pfizer Pharmaceuticals, a big pharmaceutical corporation, and we talk about this quite a bit. Now, they make a little bit more than I do, and they get nice little perks every once in a while. We may get a pencil at the beginning of the year, and they get other things. But you're around kids, and if that doesn't excite you, and when you see that opportunity to be around students on a daily basis, and we're in a world in which you can do great things for people, and if that's what you're about, that sharing and giving, now there's not a better job in the world. There truly isn't. It keeps you young, keeps you excited, and those are things. And the challenge. Think about this. The challenge our kids are going to do. It's projected our kids will have careers or professions. Will change them 3 or 4 times in the next 20 years. And of those 3 or 4 times, we're going to change those careers. The majority of them haven't been thought of yet. Now, how do you prepare kids for that? That's a great challenge, and that's exciting. And I believe our students will step up to that challenge and do that, and we will as educators too. But some people shy away from that because they think that's too overwhelming. But man, that's so exciting to think about because you really touch into the future. What you do touches lives that you won't even know or exist 20, 30 years from now by having that kid in that classroom, that person in the classroom. So that's powerful stuff, and it's very meaningful. You're not going to be rich. You're not going to be wealthy. You're not going to be driving the fancy cars, but you're going to have a heart that's pretty full at the end of that career. So,
if you want to email Dr. Skocy, it's dskocy@mattoon.k12.il.us, I guess.
That's right.
And he'd be glad to answer any of your
yeah,
questions.
do that.
Also, thank you very much for
Thank you.
coming in.
And good luck to you, folks. Good luck to you.